I'm now.
Her debut film, Body Heat, made Kathleen Turner an instant star and saw the likes of Michael Douglas and Warren Beatty chasing her around Hollywood, I think literally. It was her voice, though, which was to become her biggest asset.
Kathleen is currently working on stage in London in a play featuring just one other actor, and it was during rehearsals that I went to meet her. Kathleen, you've kind of welcomed me into your world.
I know. This is where I'm living right now.
The stage is quite small here.
Yeah, it is. Well, you know, it's just the one set. We don't have to think about, you know, other scenes in other places or anything. So, and then the detail, you know, is just so extraordinary. This woman, this character, is a real scavenger, and you know, what she calls herself a pack rat. So she goes to all these thrift stores and junk shops and everything, and finds all these endless little things.
All this stuff, amongst other things.
Yeah.
It is a very physical play, isn't
I know.
it?
I keep wondering when I'm going to finally do a character that just sits or something, you know. And every time I think, oh well, I've got this one, you know, woman who's you know, supposedly in bed, or she's an invalid. Forget it. The bed becomes a trampoline.
Just to give people a sense of what the play is, you play trailer trash, which people understand over here.
All right.
And someone who thinks they have an amazing work of art.
That I've found in a junk store, a painting that she believes is by Jackson Pollock. And Ian McDiarmid, who is an absolutely lovely man and a wonderful actor, plays the ex-rector of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and he comes to evaluate the authenticity.
And he has preconceptions about you because of the way you are, the way you look, and how you live.
Oh, it's a real clash of class, of education. It does come to blows, essentially. Yeah.
That physical stuff. How do you choreograph? Because you are literally tumbling. You are tumbling on the stage.
Yeah, it's choreographed very carefully. We have fight directors, and we run it through every day. You know, we have fight call before every show, because it can be a little dangerous.
Can I ask you, sitting here talking to you, I've heard so much about your voice and about what it's like. It is exactly like people say. It's an extraordinary voice.
Thank you very much.
Where did it come from? Were you I don't know, what was it like when you were 15?
Oh, I was always low, always low. It was a real problem when I started out, because I was this young, pretty thing who looked like an ingenue, but as soon as I opened my mouth, you know, I sounded much too mature. And in fact, when I got my first film, Body Heat, no one had ever asked me my age. And then after I was cast, Larry Kasdan said, oh, by the way, how old are you? And I said, well, I'm 25. He went, no, you're not. No, you're not. If the studio asks, you're 29. I said, okay, yeah, all right. Until I was 50, I played older than myself always. Yeah.
And that is quite unusual, isn't it?
Well, I think usually you try and play younger, don't you? But I spent my whole career playing older.
How do you look back on that time now?
Well, it seems quite a while. I mean, it is quite a while, really. I never went more than 2 years without returning to stage, because I never wanted to lose my skill or my confidence. I saw a lot of film actors get very afraid. And frankly, it's really hard to go back to film now, because I find it boring. I shot Dumb and Dumber 2 this fall with Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels. And not only is it one of the silliest things I've ever had to do in my life, but I just reminded me again of you know, you shoot for 20 minutes and you sit for an hour and a half while they redo the lights and camera. And you shoot for 20 minutes the same material at a different angle, and then you sit for an hour and a half. And yes, you get a lot of books read, but it's nothing like the energy and the continual joy you get from theater.
I just want to ask you about a time. So you're young, you're very successful in Hollywood, you've just got the first movies out, and you are chased by men. The likes
I was the new girl in town, right?
Warren Beatty.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
It's
Michael
Douglas, of course.
Yeah.
What was that like that time?
It was a trophy thing. Well, you see,
a trophy thing. What do you mean?
Well, who could get the new girl first, I suppose, was the game plan. I lived in New York always, so I only went out to Los Angeles to shoot, you know, and then I'd come right back to New York because I didn't like it very much out in Los Angeles, and I love New York. So in a way, distance protected me from a lot of that nonsense.
You've been very open and very brave, I think, to some degree, in talking about the condition you've suffered. Rheumatoid arthritis.
Right. Well, there is no cure, yet. I mean, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and it's a constant battle with adjusting of medications and trying to do the right, the right amount of work to keep the muscles to support your joints, but at the same time not putting stress on the joints that have been attacked, and then all the endless operations.
And all that, of course, under enormous scrutiny. Yeah. With people, with the press, with the television.
Well, autoimmune diseases have really not been well understood until, the last 15 years, maybe? And if you were ill, the last thing you wanted was for, a production company or producers or directors or anyone to know that you were ill, because they would be afraid that you would be unable to do the work. And even though I am the kind of person that I would never take a job unless I knew that I could complete it, they can't know that, So yeah, you keep it quiet.
Now, I think you describe yourself as a challenge junkie, that you don't mind chucking yourself, having a go, whatever it is. That's just is that kind of a life principle?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want to repeat something that I know I can do, because I've done it. So I like to find things that I'm not sure I can do.
I'm sure it's something people love about you. For example, lots of people remember you in Friends.
Oh God, yeah, that was
and
fun.
And so your phone call comes from, I don't know, from the producer or whatever, saying, do you want to be in Friends?
Yeah.
And then what happens?
Well, he described the role, and I said, so I'd be a woman playing a man playing a woman. And he said, yeah. I said, well, I haven't done that yet.
Do you have a thing you do before you come on stage?
Oh, yeah.
What's the thing you do?
Well, I come to the theater about 2 hours ahead of curtain, So I do a 20-minute physical warm-up and a 20-minute vocal warm-up and all that sort of thing before I ever sit down in front of the mirror.
What's that consist of? Just like noises or?
I have a small personal steamer to moisten and clear all the vocal cords and everything. And with the steam, you do a whole series of running. You have what we call running. Notes, up and down, up and down. No. I don't do it raw. Has to be prepared. And then, of course, I have that. And I like to go to all my cast members' dressing rooms, because I don't believe in meeting people for the first time that day on stage. But since it's only Ian and I, that's really not a problem.
It's been a real pleasure meeting you, and thank you for sharing this stage with me.
I know. I wish I could tell you the story of all these things, but
it's been a real pleasure.
It would take too long. Thank you.
Thank you very much.